Wow. Finally. So who's been a member with BNI for over, let me see, 8 years? You've been here over 8 years. If you want to just stand up, please. Look around the room. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, remain standing. What about if you've been a member for more than 5 years? More than 5 years. More than 5 years. Brilliant, brilliant. Big round of applause. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. I'm going to reverse this. Who's a visitor here today who's never been to BNI? Here for the first time. If you're a visitor, not a BNI member, please, if I could ask you to stand. If you're a visitor. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. You may take your seats. And a final one. If you've been a member, but a member for less than 12 months, less than 12 months. So you're a new member, you've joined, and you're a member for less than 12 months. Less than 12 months. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I know there might be some of you who might still be saying, I was not called out because I've been a member for more than a year, but less than 5 years. Don't worry. I'm just trying to get this to work. Am I pointing where? Should I be pointing in some? Sorry. So, what I wanted to, Muraguri introduced and opened the session with the concept of BNI. Thank you. Right. There we are. Okay. He opened the session with the concept of BNI. It's all about collaboration. But what is it that drives BNI? Our motto is changing the way the world does business, changing the way Africa does business, changing the way East Africa does business, and this morning, changing the way Kenyans do business. How do we do that? So you've seen a group of people who've been with this for over 8 years. Muraguri, of course, brought it over here 11 years ago. I've been doing it for 15 years. What is it that keeps us going? What is it that keeps these members going? It starts with our values. Our values align with the organization's values and the organization's philosophy. What is the organization's philosophy, members? Give us gain. Where can you walk into an organization and ask everybody what is our philosophy and hear each and every one in unison be able to share what that philosophy is? What you have just demonstrated over here, you don't see that in many corporates or many organizations out there. It is give us gain. So what does give us gain mean? And I wanted to spend a few minutes really talking about that because it aligned very much with my personal values. And I'm sure it aligns very much with your personal values, especially if you've been with the organization for so long. So a few weeks ago, somebody asked me, how old am I? And I said, oh, I'm 48 years old. I'm not shy about sharing that. Yes, people may say, you don't look 48, you look more than 50. I said, no, I'm 48. And this person, their eyes kind of opened up. He said, oh, I'm 48 too. What day are you born on? Have you ever come across that, somebody says you're the same age and now they want to know what their birthday is? Have you kind of met people like that? So I said, yes. My birthday is the 10th of November 2005. Did I say that correctly? 10th of November 2005? Yes, 10th of November 2005. So of course, just like some of you got confused, this person also said, what did you say? I said, yes. Now, I understood exactly where they're coming from. I said 27th April 1971 was the day my mum gave birth to me, but I consider my birthday to be the 10th of November 2005, because that was the day when I discovered my purpose. That was the day when I discovered that my values are very much aligned with what I saw and experienced on that day, and I'm going to share that story with you. But before that, let me just cast you very quickly to my upbringing. So some of you know this, and some of you may not. I get introduced, I come from Dubai, I live in Dubai, I've been living in Dubai for the last 15 years, but I'm actually born in Nairobi. I am a Kenyan. I have a Kenyan passport. My father was actually born in Meru. My grandmother was born in Meru. I've spent my childhood in Embu, in Meru. Those are my paternal, maternal grandparents' homes. So I'm very much a Kenyan. It was only until when I went to university that I went abroad. So yes, I'm a Kenyan, I'm an East African. My childhood, a lot of those values were instilled by one superhero in my life, and that's my dad. I'm quite blessed that my dad is still with us today. He's 80 years old. He turns 80 later this year. And he was the second of 7 siblings, large family. My dad was driving a pickup truck, which was part of the business. And he would drop me to school in a pickup truck. All my friends were coming along in nice cars. And sometimes it was a bit embarrassing when you're little. But my dad said, it doesn't really matter. It's not about that. It's not that he couldn't afford it or he didn't have it. But he said, I'm driving to work. I need to drive a pickup truck. I'll take you in a pickup truck. I'll pick you up in a pickup truck. So it was things like this. And when I was in university, I always questioned. And slowly, those core values which were instilled in me slowly started dying away. After university, I started my career in finance, in banking, insurance. And you've got to remember, this was the late 90s. Now, some of you can remember late 90s. Can you remember when we were rocked by those banking scandals? Can you remember? A lot of issues out there, right? I happened to be working for one of those institutions. Luckily, I smelt and I left before it hit the fan. But something didn't sit right with me. I questioned myself. I said, what am I doing? No disrespect to the financial industry, and if you're a financial professional in the room here, we respect you. But sometimes ethics, and that can happen in any business profession. It just happened for me. I was surrounded by the wrong kind of people, and it just didn't resonate with me. Anyway, cut a long story short, 10th November 2005 was when I attended the first BNI convention in Long Beach, California. A few months before that, my wife and I, we had just moved to Dubai. We had come across the BNI opportunity, and we took it up. I must say, at that point in time, we thought this a great business opportunity. The values had not yet resonated. The philosophy of give as gain was just something which was written on a wall. It wasn't there yet. But on that particular day, what happened was, we walked into this room just like this, 500 people, all BNI franchisees from 30 different countries, all strangers, but everybody came up to me and my wife, taking an interest in who we are, what we did, and every person in that room asked us these 2 questions. How can we help you? What can we do for you? I just wasn't used to that. The career that I had, everybody was for themselves, asking for themselves, and really, nobody was there to help each other. And had here a room full of 500 strangers. Everybody is all about what can we do for you and how can we help you. And that's when that realization happened. It very much connected with the core values that I was born with or grew up with. And I said, yes, I'm in the right place. Generally in life, people want to help each other. The human species wants to help each other, but when it comes to business, it's not like that. But you know what? We have BNI. BNI is hope for a lot of people. And that's the way we're changing the way the world does business. So I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, as you go through this morning, especially if you're visitors, you're going to be, if not already, I know you did some networking earlier, but you're going to be meeting a lot of BNI members. And even if you're not a BNI member, just ask yourself, if I were to wear that apron instead of a bib, and if I can offer to help somebody and give them service, how satisfying and how rewarding is it? So I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, not about joining BNI, but wearing an apron and practicing the value of giver's gain and seeing how satisfying that is. Not only will you have a refreshing morning this morning, but it's a great way to live life, it's a great way to do business. Thank you very, very much, and I hope you all have a fantastic morning.
I'll try and keep it short and sweet. When I was requested to come and present, I wasn't told much. I was just told, would you want to speak at BNI? And initially I had like a 30-minute presentation. Then I was told, no, it's not that much time. And that was like about 3 days ago. So how much time do I have? I told 5 minutes. I said, wait, 5 minutes is what I take to introduce myself. So anyway, we negotiated and I think we agreed on something like maybe 10 minutes. Now, when I was listening to BJ, and he was talking about going for his first BNI conference, and he said, he entered a room and everyone was like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? I said, I think I'm in the wrong profession. Because in my job, everyone is, please do this for me. I'm Kenyan. Currently the group CEO of Standard Media Group. So I was requested to talk about media and SMEs. And trying to keep with the theme, I'll just try and sort of lay the foundation. What are SMEs all about? And I believe SME is about productivity, is about income, is about job creation. So you can see how many people are entering the labor market. You are the guys who are supposed to be creating opportunities for them. You can see it's about 3.9 million. We'll need about 2.6 million jobs annually. And it's estimated that by 2030, about 14 million Kenyans might be jobless or looking for jobs. Now, the challenge ahead, of course, is how do we keep generating opportunities? How do we plug these holes? I think really, when you think about it, it's not the multinationals that will come and solve these problems. It's the SMEs. Now, let's look at some quick numbers. 1.56 million licensed MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises. 5.85 million unlicensed. 7.5 million enterprises, contributing about 30% of the GDP. The informal sector constitutes about 98% of the businesses in Kenya. Can you believe that? Contributing about 30% of the jobs. Now, what's not very nice is how many die annually. You've all heard that very many businesses collapse within 5 years of starting. So I believe this is a room full of business people, entrepreneurs, businessmen, businesswomen. When people are being asked how many have been members for 8 years, at least you've crossed that, it's called the 5-year mark. And it's good to see when small businesses start and thrive. Now, another statistic, of the MSMEs, 24.3% focus on manufacturing, 22.8 wholesale and retail, 15 on transport and storage, 7.3 on education. Now, I was trying to figure out what am I going to talk to a room full of eminent business people. It's always a challenge when you're told to come and address a group you've never faced before, you've never interacted with. And for me, I always sit down and I reflect and I say, okay, if I'm in the audience, how will this go? Anyway, so one of the things we see when it comes to this sector, some of the challenges, innovation and patenting. How many of you know of a story of a friend who came up with an idea and the next day 20 other people are doing it? Right? It is our culture. Somebody discovered, oh, I can trap one quail, then trap a few more, and before you know it, everyone was selling quails. You know, that's the story of our SME sector. Right now, I think they're called chia seeds. I think everyone is, you know, we go with seasons. There's a time it was amaranthus. We are very seasonal. Market access. Very many good ideas, very many good products, very many good services, but access to market is a challenge. In Kenya, we say, buy Kenya, build Kenya. A lot of times you get people saying, why is it that our products are not being bought? Why are the imports taking over the market, the cheap imports? Affordable finance, quality standards, access to technology. Government policies and regulation, knowledge and skills, and corruption. These two, government policies, knowledge and skills, very big challenges for SMEs. Now, so how does media come in? You see, when you look at media and you look at your business, you have to start thinking, where is the intersection point? We have traditional, which is offline, and we have the digital, which is online. So probably what will I leave you with? In traditional media spaces, you go for research and try and understand who are the demographics, the living standards, measures, and all that kind of thing. So you need a lot of statistical research to know which platforms to use. In digital, it's different. In digital, basically, you need to understand what's your plan, decide on your platform, choose your platforms. If you're a business person, maybe you should be looking at Twitter, LinkedIn. If you're on products, maybe Facebook, probably Instagram, some of the other social media that enhance social marketing. And basically, if you follow those steps there, you know, you build your relationships. I had relationships being discussed here. Expand your audiences, share compelling visuals. There's nothing as bad as a poor visual when you're doing online shopping or trying to see a product. Focus on quality over quantity. Use the right tools. Remember, tools matter. Don't go to a platform and say it's not working when you use the wrong tools. And then, of course, monitor and respond to all social media conversations. Remember my restaurant story? Somebody monitored, somebody responded. And then, of course, schedule your content. And with time, my other advice, get an expert to help you in that space. If you don't understand it, partner with somebody who understands it, see how they can help your business, and you start realizing the power of digital media. I had to do it very quickly. Anyone who wants to know more, as I said, it was a 30-minute, compressed into about 10 minutes. Now, the media organization I represent has all those platforms. You can imagine trying to understand which one to advertise on. That's traditional space. Now, when it gets to digital, we can do a little bit more magic. So basically, as SMEs, ladies and gentlemen, start embracing the power of advertising. Remember, 35% of the medium organization don't advertise. 33% of the small don't advertise. You want to be big? Think about your marketing, think about your advertising. Thank you.
The keynote speaker, guest speakers, visitors, BNI members, good morning. We are grateful as Dream Credit to have partnered with BNI in this grand event. And I appreciate this opportunity to give my few remarks. The entrepreneurship journey, it is an interesting one. Businesses are always dreaming to upscale their business. And one of the key things is sales. we are always looking at sales. And this morning, the speakers who have spoken before me are talking about collaboration because we want to grow our business. However, in the business world, most of the contracts are done on credit. You have this one big deal, but you know too well that you'll be paid, say, after 30 days of delivery, or 45 days, and times even 60 days. At the same time, you're expecting to continue servicing the orders that you're getting. We know businesses don't open to serve themselves. And as Dream Credit, we've been in operation for the last 10 years and have served thousands of customers. However, the customer is the best person who can judge whether you're offering the best services or you are living your purpose. We look forward to partnering with more business owners. We know for sure dreams need to be funded. And as Dream Credit, for sure, we finance dreams for a better life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. BNI, good morning. Good morning. No, it's very exciting to be here this morning, and I want to congratulate the leadership of BNI for organizing this wonderful forum, Muragori and team. It's really a pleasure to be here. When I got your invite, I got it through Isaac, and it goes to the power of network and value addition. And every day I get about 5 to 6 invitations for different forums, and I obviously can't make it to all of them. But the reason I accepted this particular one was 2 reasons. One, and I was telling Isaac that story, when I was in college, preparing for my CFA exams, level 1, I did not have a calculator. And the person who lent me that calculator to sit the exam was Isaac, and he didn't even remember it. That was more than 20 years ago. And I've never forgotten. So when he called, I picked up his phone and I found out what he wanted, and he said, "Is this forum?" And I said, "Yes, I'll be here this morning. Thank you very much." And of course, my wife was a member of BNI when she started her business. If she had been here, she would have stood up as one of the people who had been here for 8 years. Her business was a small hotel in Nanyuki, and she got a lot of support from BNI, and I got to meet Muragori there. So once again, thanks a lot. I've been a true beneficiary of BNI and the members of BNI, and the ethos of BNI really resonate with me. Thank you very much. So it's my hope that this morning I'll maybe say 1 or 2 things that may add value to you, as you've added value to me and my family. So I want to start by understanding who is in the room. How many business owners are in the room? All of you. How many people feel that their business has room for growth? How many people feel that capital is a constraining factor? Interesting. How many people would one day like to have a multi-million shilling business that you can exit? Okay, brilliant, okay. So that's my business. Because I remember when I met Muragori in my office, you asked me, what do you do? And so what do I do at Centum? What I do at Centum is that we invest in companies, scale up the value, so move them from point A to point B, and exit. So the companies we own are our inventory. How many of you have inventory in your businesses? So for me, my business, the inventory are the companies that we have invested in. That is our working capital. And so my business is to scale up businesses. And one of the things your director told me, the challenges some of you have is how to manage that growth. But that's what I do on a day-to-day business basis. So recently, you may have seen last week, we exited one of our companies, which is a bottling company. And we exited for, who saw the news? How much was it? Yeah, it was 19.4 billion shillings. That was on Friday last week. But that company, we started off with it in 2012. It was a 3 billion shilling company. And we moved, one of them, the profit was about 100 million shillings in 2012. And in 6 years, in 2018, it was over 1.2 billion shillings. Same company, same staff, same customers, but some things changed. And so what I would like to share with you is what we look at in businesses. Because the reality today, if you meet private equity investors, venture capital investors, and you ask them, how many of you have capital and you cannot find opportunities? And I've been in that situation many times. The same question I've asked you, everyone puts up their hand. They say, we can't find opportunities. Then when you meet business people and ask, how many of you are looking for capital? Everyone puts up their hand. So you say, where is the conundrum? When you speak to banks, I chair one of the banks in this country, and out of so many applications that come to us, many are rejected, not because they don't need money, but because of some basic things. So the first thing we look at in any business, is it a real business? Because there are many businesses that are not real businesses. So what I mean by a real business, one, do you have a customer? And it's easy to think you have a customer, but the question we ask ourselves in due diligence, if this company ceased to exist, who would feel the pain? Would anyone really feel the pain? Is this business addressing a real need? And you have to ask yourself, the day I go out there to raise capital, the day I go out there to bring in on board an investor, will I be ready? Will I be able to present my books of accounts? Will I have the controls? Will I have the systems? And one might assume that it's expensive. But I was just flipping through that, the wonderful brochure you have. And I saw the host of services delivery that is available, even amongst the BNI members, that you can tap into. For example, in Joanne's business, who was your member, I think she was in Vuma chapter. So when she spoke to me how to set up a business, the first thing I spoke to her was about the importance of these controls. And so what she gets every day, for example, she gets daily reports every day. And today, when she meets with the banks, they're always asking her, when can you come for money? Yet the other people who are begging the bank to give them money. And those are some of the differences between businesses that are able to scale up, because when you're able to attract capital, you're able to expand your fixed assets, you're able to expand your working capital, you're able to recruit better people into your business and attract them, and then you're able to focus on opening new visions, new horizons, new vistas for your businesses. So it's my hope and prayer, Mr. Muraguri, that with the time, because we're just in the process of raising a 50 billion shilling value fund, that with the time, there'll be BNI members that qualify to be investees of this value fund. Because by being an investee here, you're going to benefit from lower cost capital. And value will be created not just for the investor, but for yourself. Because you are in there. And when you are done, you'll have a legacy to leave, to say, we moved this idea, this vision, this seed we had from this level to that level, and I either carried on with it, or I listed it, or I exited and created a family foundation. So what I'm here to tell you is that it's possible. It's been done in this country. It is not difficult. The tools that you need are well within this particular forum that you have. And I want to close with a brief, very brief story about two people who were in a conference like this. And one of them said, I hear there's going to be a recession. And the other one said, I've chosen not to participate. I believe BNI members have chosen not to participate. Thank you very much.